Teshuva means that the person has returned to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, meaning that that person has changed their lifestyle. They were doing whatever they wanted, now they're redirecting their life to do whatever HaKadosh Baruch Hu said they have to do. And eventually arrive at the conclusion that, interestingly enough, doing what Hashem wants you to do is what you want to do, after all. It's much better than what you used to want to do. Why? Because what you used to want to do got you into a lot of trouble. Like some guy came to me in New York. Bal minan, what tzarot people have, how many tzarot, how many problems people have. Guy, nice guy, poor guy, comes to me after one of the lectures, and he's talking to me, he's almost crying. And I say, hey, listen, I'm a good speaker, I'm not that good. He goes, no, I want to tell you something, but I don't know how to say it. He goes, what? He goes, I just lost everything. I'm like, what do you mean everything? He goes, every single thing I have, I lost. I said, wait, what? Over the last few years? He goes, in one day. In one day, I lost every single thing I have. What happened? Shem Yachem. Robbery / bad deal. But literally lost every single penny that he had gathered and toiled for 30 years. Now imagine you wake up in the morning, 6 o'clock in the morning every day. You know, you do what you got to do. You get yourself out of bed. No one likes to get out of bed at 6 o'clock in the morning. Even after 30 years, you don't like it. You rather sleep till 9:30, 10, 11, 12. Hazak. Well, like college kids. No, but you wake up every day, 6 o'clock in the morning, like a rooster. The rooster is telling you, no, come on, go back to sleep. I'm tired still. You get up in the morning, and you get in the car, and you forgot the coffee. Then you get the coffee, then the coffee spills on you, and then you get changed the shirt, and you go back, and you go to the job that you don't really want to be in. But what do you have to do? You got to pay the bills after all. Even if they pay you $1 million, you don't want to go there. You'd much rather go to Tahiti or something, sit on the beach, do nothing. But you go to this job and you deal with a bunch of customers that are ungrateful and a bunch of bosses that are ungrateful and a bunch of different things that you don't even like anymore. But listen, every 2 weeks they give you a paycheck. So you keep coming back. And if you have your own job, you have your own company, oh Hashem Yirachem. All the employees that you bought them houses and you bought them cars and you paid for their weddings and you gave them presents and bonuses they didn't deserve, in the end, what do? Listen, sir, this is my last day. What do you mean it's your last day? You've been with me for 5-10 years. I groomed you. Yeah, finally you're good. For the last 5 years I've been suffering with you. Kaparat avonot. You were terrible. Finally you're good after 10 years. Yeah, I'm leaving. What, you retiring? What happened? No, I'm going to Smith & Company. What? That's my competition. That's my nemesis. That's the guy that we've been fighting the whole time. He goes, yeah. You're going to my competition after I did everything I did for you? Yeah, listen, business is business. As I tell you, business is business, like you never meant anything to them. A few shekels, that's it, finished. A couple of green bills, finished. They go to the competition. And I don't go quietly. They say quietly. But what? At night, before they told you that they're leaving for the last 3 weeks, they stayed extra late. Why? So you can get all the files on all the customers that you gave them so they could steal them and go to the next company. On day one, they're already ready. Suddenly, day one, they're already producing. How is it possible? It takes at least a few months. No, they've been preparing. They've been stealing your stuff for 2 months. While they're getting a paycheck. Meaning you've been paying them for the last few months to steal from you. And they just cash the bonus check too, usually. So if you own your own company, you realize eventually that all of those employees that you paid so much money for and you borrowed some money from a few people so you could pay them on time without even letting them know, just because you want to make sure that they're okay, they go to the competition. You own a business, you don't even eat sometimes, but you make sure everybody else eats, and you realize after all, you got to do what you got to do, right? So imagine you did all of this for 10, 20, 30 years. You saved every shekel you possibly could. And for anyone who doesn't know, shekel is the Israeli currency. Now you saved a few dollars, and then one day, it's gone. One day, gone. Everything's gone. Now this is a nightmare of nightmares. Whether you worked for somebody or you worked for yourself, this is the nightmare of nightmares. Typical person starts crying, hysterical, a few times, doesn't get over it, sometimes for years, sometimes you can't even bounce back. So now, if somebody came to you, for a moment think about this, if somebody came to you, I'm going to ask you a question before you guys ask me questions. Somebody came to you and said, listen, I just lost everything. What do you mean everything? Everything, I lost everything and it's terrible, somebody robbed me, or I did a really bad deal, or my partner stole everything, or my wife ran away with the accountant and she took the money too, which by the way, that's part of the story also, of a different story. Ooh, types of stories I have. I could write 50 books just on the stories. Now, what do you tell the guy? What do you guys tell this guy? What do you tell him? You already, everyone here has a few, 2 or 3 things they're going to say, oh, yeah, I'm sorry, give the guy a hug or something. Or is the hug going to help him? How's the hug going to help him? The hug's not going to help him. He's not going to get his money back. The reality is you can't get him his money back. But you can help him by asking him one question. Along the way that you made all this money, did you keep Torah and mitzvot? That's the only question that you can ask. That's the only question that's going to help him. Asking him, do you have a backup plan? Does your father have any money? Can your mom help you? Can your long-distant aunt that hasn't heard from you in 10 years help you? Maybe the partner wants to buy back. All that other stuff he already knows. He already did the accounting before he came to you crying. He's not coming to you for that. He's coming to you for some divine answer. But you're, instead of giving him an answer, you're asking him a question. Did you keep Torah and mitzvot? Yes or no? Now this usually, the person is usually dumbfounded. Like, what does that have to do with anything? I just told you I lost every shekel that I have. You're asking me if I kept mitzvot? What does that have to do with anything? It has to do with everything. And the reason why, Rabotai, is because his answer is going to tell you how to respond next. When this not-so-old man told me no, he said, listen, I love Hashem. But, listen, I'm not married. And I didn't have anything to do, so I worked on Shabbat. So I said to him, the only response you're allowed to say, Baruch Hashem that happened to you. Baruch Hashem that you lost everything. Baruch Hashem. Now this is going to get you angry. It's going to get him angry. It's going to get everybody angry. For a second. You want to punch me in the face right now? What do you mean? The guy just lost everything. Isn't there a mitzvah saying, don't celebrate when your enemy is down? He's not my enemy, first of all. But second of all, you have to understand the reason. And the reason is, the Torah Kedosha says, Mechalelea mot yumat. HaKadosh Baruch Hu says, when you violate Shabbat, it's a death penalty. Now, since we ourselves as rabbis or the Beit Din, we're not allowed to kill anybody. We're not the Sanhedrin. That does not mean that that death penalty doesn't apply anymore. It just means that Hashem runs the world. So every time a person works on Shabbat, even if he makes only $5 profit or $5 loss, he worked on Shabbat, it's a Mechalel Shabbat. Somebody drives on Shabbat, whether he's driving to shul or he's driving to the mall, doesn't matter, it's Mechalel Shabbat. HaKadosh Baruch Hu says, I owe you something. What? I owe you a death penalty. And that's for each time you press the gas pedal. Now, you continue driving after pressing the gas pedal, ooh, that could be thousands, millions of times you violated Shabbat. Meaning that the only thing you can say to this person that lost all of his possessions as far as money is Baruch Hashem. Why? That means that Kadosh Baruch Hu loves you. Loves you. He loves you so much, instead of killing you and taking your body, he took your money instead. Now what would you like? If somebody told you, either give me every penny that you have, or your life. What demented person would ever say, no, I'll just give you the money. I'll just give you my life. No, keep the money though. I like that it has all those zeros next to it. Without your life, your money is worthless. When they bury somebody, everybody gets buried in the same little box. They don't put the money in there. The money goes to a bunch of people that are not going to care about who died and who died 6 days later, they forget about it already. Why? They're already buying buildings, they're already buying cars. Oh, Chazaku Baruch, you got a Yerusha, you got an inheritance. Wow, Mazal Tov. What Mazal Tov? I had a student, Miskin. He had one of these Erev Rav rabbis. He just didn't know yet. The guy, his mom died. So he goes to his rabbi, he says, listen, Rabbi, my mom died. If you come to the house, maybe give a little chizuk. The rabbi comes to his house, and he starts off his 5-minute speech with, listen, we could all mourn here that our dear friend's mother died, but I would like to say Mazal Tov. Mazal Tov, you just inherited everything that she had, Chazaku Baruch, hopefully you do good things. The guy said, I wanted to take the table and smash it on his head. What Mazal Tov? You think I care about the money that I just inherited? I want my mom instead. Shem Yachem. Sometimes people don't see with their eyes. They see with something else. So HaKadosh Baruch Hu sees everything clearly. And if he took your money, you should say Baruch Hashem. Why? Because the money is a replacement for blood. It's a replacement for life. And that's why it's actually alacha that when somebody loses money, they are supposed to say Baruch Hashem. They have to say, thank you, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Why? Because, of course, I made some type of sin. Maybe I know what sin I made. Maybe I don't know. Maybe I forgot. But if Hashem took my money, Baruch Hashem. Why? Because it's either that or my life. Money you could always make back. If Hashem decides for you to get the money back, you can make the money back. Life you can't get twice. Finished. So, initially it shocked him. But then he realized this is a very, very different response that he got from the 9 other rabbis that he went to. He went for me for the minyan. And then he realized, okay, so what do I do now? I said, you start with Teshuva. He goes, what about the money? I said, the money's from God. Liya kesef eliya za'av ne'um Hashem tzevaot. HaKadosh Baruch Hu said, mine is the money, mine is the gold. Everything is mine. You want me to give it to you? Give me a reason. But I took it from you. Why? Because you were making money on Shabbat. You were working on Shabbat. You're lucky I didn't take your life. Now, even though this is not pleasing to the ears, it's the truth. It's emet la'amita. This is the truth. Now, we're not cheering for anybody to lose. We're not cheering, chas v'shalom, for anyone to die. But we are cheering for the truth. We are always obligated to say the truth to ourselves, to our peers, to our family, in different ways. I can say what I say because this is my position. You have to say things in a different way sometimes. Somebody comes to you, tells you the same story, you say, oh, call Rabbi Yaron. That's what you tell. You don't tell Muslim, don't tell Baruch Hashem. Why? Because you're going to get a right one. I usually don't get right ones. I just get comments on the internet. You're going to get a right one. Why? Because your brother is going to give you a right one if you tell him, Baruch Hashem, you lost all your money. So you tell him, oh, you lost your money? You know what? I have a CD for you. It's called Hashem Took Back His Millions. Listen to this. Why? You're not going to be able to do it most of the time. The point is, Rabotai, is that you have to stick to the truth.
אני מברך את הרבנים, רגע. אני מברך את הרבנים, הרב ירון ראובן, הרב אפרים כחלון, ראשי ארגון בעזרת השם, שהלכו בפי עליון, שעלו מעלה, יהיה להם ברכה והצלחה, הקדוש ברוך הוא ימלא בישועות ליבם לטובה ולברכה, שבכל מה שיפנו ישכילו ויצליחו, יזכו לעשות כאלה וכאלה, הודיעו תורה לאדירה, אמן ואמן.
בעזרת השם רשת בכל הארץ. הוא היהודי הזה, הוא היה מיליונר, סגר את כל הביזנס, אמר אני משקיע פה בעולמה של תורה.
איפה הוא גר?
בפלורידה.
פלורידה, איפה זה פלורידה? באמריקה.
במיימי. כן, ליד. אנחנו שם עכשיו הולכים להקים קהילה ספרדית גדולה.
תעבירו מה שבירכתי אותו.
כן, קהילה ספרדית גדולה.